Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Deb Dowdy, and I like to just invite you to sit back, take some notes, and learn today from our two secrets to overcome the overwhelm without killing yourself in the process. Ooh, doesn't that sound great? Now, what we're going to do today is I want to ask you, are you a busy entrepreneur? Of course you are, right? Or you wouldn't be here. Do you sometimes feel overwhelmed with everything that needs to get done? In other words, you've got this list of things to do throughout the day, and no matter how hard you work, how many hours you put in, you still have this huge list of to-dos at the end of the day? Well, if you're like myself and other entrepreneurs that I've worked with, people who are hard workers and want to be successful, but sometimes are just overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that needs to get done. And quite frankly, they're sick and tired of feeling like they don't have the time to get it all done. Then I want you to read on to discover how, as a busy entrepreneur, you can overcome the overwhelm and put more time back in your day. That's right. During our short time together here, I'm going to reveal a simple plan on how you can get more done, feel less overwhelmed, and finally get the work-life balance you deserve. So you, as a busy entrepreneur, can get your life back and grow your business in less time, even when you don't think it's possible. Now, be sure to stick around to the very end for some great bonuses and free resources you're not going to want to miss out on. I like to share my story with you and why I want you to listen to me. You know, I was running a business, and that was me. I got burnt out. I was running a business and then becoming a single busy mom with two kids for over 8 years. I hit the brick wall. It was literally my do or die moment. I call it my watershed moment, to be honest. It was like a tail wagging the dog. You know, knowing something was seriously wrong, always working in my business, but not really running my business. And that was me. I needed help, like a lot of it. I was tired, stressed out, I was out of balance. I wasn't putting myself or my health first. I was literally drowning. Now, not really knowing where my time was going each day, but I was running out of time every day and definitely not being as productive as I could. I was beating myself up because I knew I was better than that. This all led to me being totally exhausted and frustrated. And then one day, everything changed for me when I finally found that I began to have systems. I created and implemented life-changing success habits so I could finally enjoy the time freedom that I wanted. And to be honest, these techniques were so simple, it was almost laughable that I hadn't run across them earlier. Oh, you know what? The best part? They don't require spending a ton more money, and once you hear them, they're things that you can implement right away. In fact, with these two simple secrets, busy entrepreneurs are feeling less overwhelmed, getting more done, and in short, enjoying their lives again. They're having time to work out, spend time with their family, and growing a business that they love. I know for me personally, not only was I less stressed, but I was healthier too, as I stopped working soul-crushing hours and started going to the gym along with eating even better. I even learned some easy recipes along the way. What can get better than that? You know, after 3 years of painstaking limbo, being exhausted and my health starting to suffer, I was going through personal development and business courses along the way and having trial and error, of course. I finally discovered a foolproof way to stop the madness, because if I didn't, I literally was going to be swept away by my own life. Are you ready for the 2 simple secrets? I hope you are. Now, secret number 1 is dealing with a runaway to-do list, because I know you have them. I had them, and let me tell you, this is one of my favorite tools when it comes to getting organized because, let's face it, As busy entrepreneurs, as people, we are just running around. We have so many things that we need to do. It just almost seems like a never-ending to-do list of stuff that we need to get done, doesn't it? I don't know about you, but I am speaking from past experience where it's so demoralizing to know that you've worked, to know that you've put time into your business, to know that you've done a lot of things. And then you get to the end of the day and it's like you can't for the life of you remember what you did or how it worked or even pointing to the fact that it moved you in your business forward. Or worse yet, have you ever had it where you had more things actually on your to-do list at the end of the day than when you first started out? My gosh, I totally have had that before. And that's not really the best way to do it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to talk about how to deal with a runaway to-do list and how you can incorporate this into your business so you can be successful. Now, before we jump into that though, let me kind of go over the different schools of thought for how people are dealing with this right now. And I really want you to see which one resonates with you. The first group, these folks are who, when they're presented something, they're trying to do something, they say, you know what? I'm going to deal with that right now. And you've seen this group before. They're like, I'm going to do this right now, and I'm going to do this right now before I forget. They always say that. They're always running around and always doing, they're being like, let me do this, let me do that. Let me just run, here, there, everywhere, just running. And if you find yourself in that, you know that you're that person because you're always running around. You're always doing stuff and reacting. Now, that's the first group. The second group, these are people who are like, you know what? Let me write it down, but let me put it on a Post-it note. Okay? Now, here's how you know if you fall into this category. It's very simple. You have Post-it notes all over your desk. They're all over your wall. They're back all over your desk. They're all over your computer. They're even in your car. They're in your bedroom. They're on the kitchen table. They're in the living room. They are all over. Now, the problem with the first point of, let me do this before I forget, is that you're running around all over the place and derailing yourself. The problem with the second one is that you're not really getting it all done. You feel like you're capturing it, and you really are to a certain extent, but you don't trust the mechanism by which you captured them. So you feel like, I've written them down on a Post-it note, but I kind of have these different Post-it notes or sheets of paper all over the place, small things, whatever you're doing and writing them on, but you have them all over the place. There's this perennial fear that I'm going to lose this. Something is going to slip through the cracks. And that kind of problem with the second group, it doesn't work either. Now, the third group, you guys are really smart. You're thinking, you know what? I know I don't want to forget this. I know I need to write it down. I know it needs to be in a place that's a little different than a Post-it note. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write it down on this one big, huge sheet of legal paper. Or I'm going to have this pad with me that I walk around with all the time because I'm going to capture it all. And you can tell these folks right away because they're always writing stuff down. It's like, oh, let me knock this out. Or, oh, let me take care of this now. And it's just this one long list of stuff. Now, if you fall into this category, let me tell you what the challenge is. The problem is not as obvious as with the other ones. It's not as obvious because you don't forget stuff. The problem is it never feels like you get stuff done. It almost like the opposite problem. You capture it, you've got it there, but it never feels like anything gets done because it almost feels like for every 2 things that you finish on your list, 3 more come back on. And the other problem is that Because of that dynamic, you're setting yourself up to think that every task, every line item is really created equally. You've got 15 things on your list. And I think there's like 23 or 25 lines, right? On a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, something like that. So you've got 17, 18, 19 things. You're crossing them off to, things done, another couple things done. Now you're putting another 3 more down on your list. You're crossing stuff off. The problem is the list itself doesn't engender a degree of prioritization. All tasks are not created equally. Please remember that. Some are going to have more of an impact on your business than others, of course. And you know what? If you talk to Tim Ferriss from the 4-Hour Workweek, great book if you haven't read that yet, he wants to have a conversation around leaving at 1 or 2 in the afternoon, working 3 or 4 hours a day. Now, wouldn't that be awesome? And in his mind, and I agree with this, you can't do everything at once. And if you take a look at some of the other things, figuring out what some of the one things are that Gary Keller actually talks about in his book, The One Thing, 80% of your results are going to come from 20% of your efforts. And I have to tell you, the problem with that long list is that it doesn't allow you nor set yourself up for success, because all the things on there actually look the same and are essentially created the same way, because that's how you do it. So let's say that you want to do it a little differently. Let's talk about how I actually do it and how I recommend it. The idea is that you definitely want to have it in a place that you can trust. Absolutely, hands down, no question about that. And by the way, a really good book on this is called Getting the Things Done: The Art of Stress-Free Productivity. David Allen wrote that, and he talks about this concept of putting things in a place where you can trust. That's part of the problem with this whole information world that we live in. This is the first time in human history, guys, where the amount of information that's available to us is actually eclipsed. It eclipses our capacity to not only handle it, but to process it. Anyway, let me not get off on that tangent. Here's what I like to do. Putting it in a place that you can trust. I'm going to recommend, first of all, that you go get yourself a whiteboard. The biggest one you can afford over at the office supply store. I mean like a big whiteboard, like the width of the hood of your car. It's going to cost you probably around $29. Then get yourself some dry erase markers. That's another $4 or $5. And last, get some 4x6 note cards. I personally get the colored ones. And you don't want to hear me loud and clear on this, do not get the white ones. They will get lost on your desk. I actually get the neon colored ones. Yes, the bright ones. So they stand out to me. I think I get like maybe 100 or something like that for $3. And so what I'm talking about is you'll get everything for about $40 or under. Now take it all home, and what I'm going to recommend to you is that you want to write down all of the stuff that you have to do. Write every bit of it down. Make your list, and you know what? You're going to find it very interesting, because there's going to be a ton of small stuff all over that list. Send this email, publish this proposal, follow this person, and of course, you'll find larger items as well, but just make sure you get everything out of your head and in a place that you can trust. So the place that you can trust, right? Now, the next thing is you want to make sure that, I want you to think about where you can place this actually in your office. You're going to put it somewhere that you can see that's predominant, right? But it's not too obtrusive. Now, one of the things that David Allen talks again about in his book, The Art of Stress-Free Productivity, is the idea that you have a subconscious and your conscious. Now, everybody knows that, right? Now, the conscious, though, we all understand. We get that. The conscious brain. We don't, understand, usually for most people, I didn't, is that your subconscious, when something goes into your subconscious, And it's not in a place that is in your mind's eye that you can trust, where it's just kind of floating out there. What happens is your subconscious thinks that it has to do it right now and right away. So your subconscious, there is no past, there is no future. It's just the present. And that's why a lot of people have this. I know I've totally had this. And, where I get up, I call it the 3 a.m. wake up call, because at 3 a.m. in the morning, your conscious brain is down and your subconscious is like, oh my gosh, I finally get a chance to talk to these people, right? I get up and you end up doing this kind of stuff. Otherwise it's not going to get done. That's what your subconscious is making you think. So that's why you can wake up and physically be tired, but emotionally you're kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm alert, but you can still physically be tired. So what you want to do with this is put it into a place that you can trust. That's why you have to get it on an actual whiteboard and have it in your office that's not somewhere that's too intrusive, okay? Am I making sense with this? I certainly hope so. Now, when you do this, when you actually put it down into the whiteboard, here's what's going to happen. You're going to transpose it, all of your stuff from the list that you made, to the whiteboard. You're going to put all of the things on there, and I mean all of them. And it's going to be like 30, 40, maybe even 50 things, just so you know. So don't freak out about it. When I actually first did this, the first 10 or 15 minutes, I had like 20 or 30 things, okay? The next 10 minutes, I had about 10, 20 more, okay? I had, by the end of it, about 50 things on my list. You just put them all on your whiteboard, and you're going to write down everything. You're going to put bullet points, okay? Write them all down. Now, all right, this is how I use my 4x6 note cards. I take one, and I take between 4 to 6 things from my whiteboard, and I put it on my to-do list, which is essentially, this becomes my to-do list, my card, okay? See, because part of the problem, we think is we have an unlimited amount of time, and we really don't, you guys. One of the points that I talk about in the past is that you really have to spend your time like your money. Great concept, huh? And that's a whole nother concept, so, in a conversation. So let me just save that for another time, okay? Don't get me off of that. People just kind of look at their time all willy-nilly, right? But if you only had 5 or 6 slots for the day, which is what most people have, because you're taking phone calls, you're seeing clients, you have about a half a dozen slots. And even then, that might be too much. But here's what you've got to do. Then the question becomes, what from here do I want to get into here, right? From your list on your card, what do I want to get into here? Then you take another 4 or 6 of them off the whiteboard, and bam, now you've got this thing under control. And you don't have to do this, but the reason why I really like it this way is because it gives me a feel for what I've got in terms of, all right, I've got a few minutes and we're going on to work, right? I can really look at that and get it under control. I don't need to say, hold on, let me look at my post-it notes, let me look at this long to-do list of this legal sheet that I have, 58, 60 things on it. Let me try to remember everything and that I didn't forget, and just, right? I don't have to do that. I don't have time for that, nor do you. I just go back to my whiteboard like a normal person, and bing, bam, boom, I put the numbers in a different color so it pops out. Okay, so let me explain. The regular whiteboard line items, right? The regular things, X, Y, Z, whatever you come up with, okay? That's in black. But the prioritization number for me is put in purple. So I want you to pick a color that you absolutely love and makes you feel better when you're looking at it, okay? And what you're going to do is, on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 meaning the highest priority, okay? You're going to look at everything and look it over, and then what you're going to do is list everything from the highest to the lowest, number 1 through 5, okay? Because I know you. I know what you're thinking. You're going to put all 5s down on all of them, aren't you? Right? I know you were thinking that. I know it. So let me dissuade you from that, because I know all of them are important. But here's the rule that I go by. I'm only allowed actually to put 3 number 5s on it. 3 number 5s. So what happens is I take my 3 MVPs, which I call most vital priorities. I figure out what the 3 MVPs for the day are based on what the 3 most vital priorities are for the week, and I go to town on that. You know, I learned that, the MVPs, most vital priorities, I learned that from Darren Hardy, publisher of Success Magazine. Otherwise, you know, I'm just like you. I just put 5s on everything, okay? I know where you're coming from. So no, you don't want to do that. You want to have at least just 3 5s. You can have as many other numbers that you want. But what this really does allow you to do is have a process for what makes it from the whiteboard over to your to-do list, since the 5s are most likely the ones to get done since they're the most important, right? Now, sometimes people ask me, the 5s, are they the only ones that can make it onto my to-do list? No, that's not the case at all. Again, sometimes I don't get all the 5s done, you know, during the course of the day. It's actually very rare, to be honest. And then that 1 number 5, the 2 number 5s just makes it over, you know, to the next time on my next to-do list. So most days, 4 out of 5 days probably, you know, maybe even more than that during the course of the month. For the 5 days during the course of the week, 1 of the 5s makes it over to my to-do list for that day. I hope that makes sense to you. This brings me to the next secret. Secret number 2, power hours. You know, I talk a lot about this idea of power hours and IPAs. Income producing activities is what that stands for, which we talk about, you know, really in more detail in our boot camp program. But my good friend Brian Hilliard, he's a coach as well, and he's a best-selling author of Networking Like a Pro. He actually gets up and he does his first power hour first thing in the morning. He gets up early, like around 6:15, 6:30. He's at the desk by 7 o'clock because he works from home, and then he's on the move. So his first power hour, generally speaking, is 7 to 8 or 8:30. Okay, he starts it at 7, gets done by 8, sometimes 8:30 if he goes a little bit longer. Now, Darren Hardy, who again is the publisher of Success Magazine, has a conversation around 90-minute jam sessions. He breaks his into 3 90-minute jam sessions per day. Darren Hardy. For me, I call them deep dive sessions. So I actually do 90 minutes now, but in the very beginning, I did my power hours just like I'm talking to you about. So, you know, I've been working on those because I have mastered and passed the power hours some years ago, okay? Just so you know, I just wanted to give you the next level of how you could bring your power hours to it when you're ready. Now, my point is that a number 5 for me from my whiteboard, my daily to-do list, is now going to be part of my power hour, my deep dive session, okay? That way, I get up, I go meditate, I stretch, and then I work out. For me, it's easier to do that first thing in the morning since I have control over what happens in the beginning of the day and the end of the day, for that matter, right? While it's quiet before the rest of the world is up and then I can be interrupted. The pro tip for doing an effective power hour, though, is to make your first one non-negotiable, period. End of discussion, non-negotiable. Do whatever it takes. Put in, in session or in meeting sign on your office door. Get up earlier before everyone else does in the house if you need to, if you need to, because you work from home. Figure it out, whatever you need to do, but figure that part out, because again, you control what goes on in the morning and at the end of the night, right? We call those bookends. Now, I want you to get a separate countdown timer. Like my daughter's running coach, he has that one around his neck that he carries, right? You can go buy a separate countdown timer, okay? Do not use what's on your cell phone, okay? Because you're going to be tempted, you guys, to look at your phone, okay? And respond to things as you see calls, emails, or texts. Please avoid that altogether. Put your phone on silent or put it really completely in another room. That's actually what I do. I told you because I'm tempted to look at it if it's right there in front of me. Put it in the other room and get a countdown timer with something else, and then you'll get to work. This way, I know that I've gotten the most impactful, most important things done, right, that I'm working on. Maybe not the most urgent, maybe not the 58 emails, right, that's on that list, but I got the most impactful item done that feel is important for moving my business that day going forward, right? So important, you guys. So that's the deal. The 2 simple secrets. They're very, very easy once you get started and you create the habit of doing them. These were actually game changers in my business and ultimately actually in my life as well as my clients too. That's how you can manage an actual runaway to-do list, making your time more efficient versus jumping from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. Bouncing back and forth to the things that you were trying to get accomplished in the first place, to the next, and so on. It's all eating up your time. That's the start of how you can get organized. And obviously, that's going to help you as it relates to building your pipeline and getting more business and not killing yourself in the process, because you want to be able to get business, right? You want to be able to get more clients and you want to have your life back, right? You need to be focused. You need to have a clear mind in the first place. That will obviously help you market yourself better and obviously help you get more clients to grow your business. That will obviously help you be a better business person, more clear-headed. Why, you ask? Because you don't have all this stuff, you guys, floating around in your head trying to remember what you don't want to forget, right? Oh my goodness. You are also telling your time where to go versus your time taking you every time. Again, sometimes I don't get all the 5s done during the course of the day. It's actually very rare for me. And that one number 5 makes it over. Most days, 4 out of 5 days, probably more than over the course of a month. For the 5 days during the course of the week, one of the 5s makes it over to my to-do list, excuse me guys, for that day. This brings me to secret number 2. And I know you're going to be excited about this because this is one of my favorites again. It's called power hours. I talk a lot about this idea of power hours and IPAs, which IPAs are simply called income producing activities, which, we actually do talk about in a lot more detail in our boot camp program. For my friend Brian Hilliard, he's a coach as well and the best-selling author of Networking Like a Pro. He actually does his first power hour first thing in the morning. He gets up early, about 6:15, 6:30. He's at his desk by 7 because he actually works from home. He doesn't really have a long commute, okay? And then he's on the move. His whole first power hour, generally speaking, is 7 to 8 o'clock or 7 to 8:30 or so. Now, Darren Hardy, he's the publisher of Success Magazine. He has a conversation about 90-minute jam sessions is what he calls it. He breaks it into 3 90-minute jam sessions per day. For me, I actually call them deep dive sessions, and I love them. So I've been working on those because I've mastered the power hours some years ago. I just wanted to give you a little bit more of how you can bring your power hours to the next level when you're ready, okay? But right now, I'm going to have you focus on power hours. But my point is that a number 5 for me from my list, okay, from my whiteboard, my daily to-dos, right, becomes my daily to-do for my note cards, usually then turns into me working on them during my power hour or my deep dive session. That way, I get up first thing in the morning, I go meditate, I stretch, and then I work out. For me, you guys, I've got to work out and do those things in the morning. It's easier for me to do it since I can control actually what happens in the beginning of the day and really at the end of the day for that matter, when it's quiet before the rest of the world is waking up and I can be interrupted. Now, the pro tip for you doing the effective power hour is for you to make your very first one non-negotiable, period. End of discussion, non-negotiable. Okay? Do whatever it takes. Put an in session, in meeting sign on your office door, okay? Get up earlier before everybody else is in the house if you need to, do that if you work from home. Figure it out. Find a way, make a way. Then get a separate countdown timer, okay? My daughter's running coach, he uses the one that's around his neck, right? You can get one of those running timers. You just find a countdown timer. Do not use the one on your cell phone, okay? Because you're going to be tempted, you guys, to look at your phone and respond to things as you see calls coming in, emails, texts, etc., okay? Avoid that altogether. Put your phone on silent and put it, completely in a different room if you need to, because that's what I do. I told you, I will be tempted to look at it if I have it right there in front of me, and I think you will be too, okay? This way I know that I am working on the most impactful, most important things to get done that day. Maybe not the most urgent, right? Maybe not the most 58 things on the emails that I've got to get done, but I've got the most impactful item done that I feel is important for moving my business forward that day. So that's the deal, guys. The 2 simple secrets. They're so very easy once you get started and create the habit of doing them, okay? These were actual game changes in my business and ultimately in my life, as well as for my clients too. That's how you can manage a runaway to-do list, making your time more efficient versus jumping from one thing to the next, bouncing back and forth to the thing that you were going to try to accomplish in the first place, to the next, and so on. Those things are eating up your time. That's the start of how you can get kind of organized. And obviously, that's going to help you as it relates to your business. It's going to help you building your pipeline. It gets you more business and without killing yourself in the process. Because you want to be able to get business, you want to be able to get more clients, and you want to have your life back, right? You need to be focused. You need to have a clear mind in the first place. This will obviously help you market yourself better and obviously help you get more clients to grow your business, okay? That will obviously help you be a better business person, more clear-headed. Why, you ask? Because you don't have all this stuff, you guys, floating out there, floating around in your head, trying to remember what you don't want to forget. You are also telling your time where to go versus your time taking you every time. I had to actually stop feeling like I was alone in this, that no one else had these issues. I needed to stop trying to be Superwoman. I believe nothing can be accomplished in this life without the help of others, that a man or a woman cannot reach their goals without assistance. However, what's also true is that these people are not the source of your success. You are. Let me say that again. Those other people are not the source of your success. You are. It's the moment you decide to shape your business rather than being shaped by it. So, these are just a couple of effective, easy secrets to integrate into your life and business. And if my story sounds anything like you've said before or has happened to you, if you resonate with any of these tips, then I know we have more solutions to be able to help you. I've actually put together a simple program with best-selling author of Networking Like a Pro, Brian Hilliard. It's called How to Overcome the Overwhelm and Put More Time Back in Your Day. One of the best parts of this is that you not just have me, now you have 2 experts walking you through this. Now, don't be me, where I almost didn't make it. My overall well-being and time was being depleted. I had to put some hard lines, you guys, in the sand and capture my time back. Being a wife and mom, or being a single mom, as I did, I turned into that single mom years later, plus a business owner, is no easy feat, and I know it. I've walked in your shoes. I want you to have what I have now. I want you to have your life back. I want you to have peace of mind, have energy to do things you love, do things with ease, and have fun. Too many people are not having fun any longer in their life and their business. Now, I don't want you to take my word for it. Here's what a few busy entrepreneurs have said with working with us. This is Gloria. Now, Gloria has actually had a laser coaching session with me and is also part of one of our boot camp programs participants, and she does some one-on-one work with me. So she said she can't get enough and can't tell you enough how much she has helped me in my business, that with my vision, managing time, and the image I want to project to others. I'm looking forward to more coaching sessions. And that was a little diddly that she was saying about working with me. Thank you so much, Gloria. I appreciate that, of course. Of course I do. Now, this is Lanny Lynn Naylor. She says, I would like to thank Deb Dowdy and Brian for their time and acknowledge they shared about networking yesterday. The 3 mistakes we do as business owners is very informative, simple, but powerful. Will definitely apply. Deb and Brian even took time to call me and to help me with my challenges. It was an eye-opener. That was really effective. We don't add, but we multiply. Thank you so much for explaining that in detail. You are both wonderful mentors, and I can't wait to learn from you again. Thank you. I feel so blessed to have you help me and mentor me. This is Belinda Wilkinson, owner of Steps to the Future. Working with Deb Dowdy helped me to align my personal values with the multiple challenges of growing a successful business. Deb provides a systematic approach to support your business goals without compromising other aspects of your life. Using multiple formats such as phone conversations, audio, books, exercises, Deb skillfully guides you through a process you can apply immediately. Having the opportunity to work with Deb allows me to approach my business in a way that benefits my students and families. Thanks, Belinda. So think about how good it will feel when you are able to finally spend more time with your family and do the things that you love. Imagine how much more time that you'll have and stress that you'll eliminate when you plug into systems that work. No more trial and error, trying to figure everything out on your own and just juggling it out there. As a business owner for over 28 years myself, I've gone through many transitions. I've been a wife while raising a family. Then I went through a major divorce, becoming a single mom with 2 girls. All during that time, I've been running a business, helping countless entrepreneurs, super busy folks like yourself, overcome the overwhelm and put more time back in their days. If I can make it through all of that, there's hope for you too. I've helped countless busy, overwhelmed, frustrated entrepreneurs, and I want you to be one of them. And here's how. We have a boot camp that I mentioned that's called How to Overcome the Overwhelm and Put More Time Back in Your Day. And here's how it works, guys. You get 2 audios every other week, each no more than 10 minutes in length. We cover areas such as month 1, simplifying and streamlining your business life. Month 2 is overachieve without overcommitting. And month 3, stop being busy and start getting business. Like I said, each audio is no more than 10 minutes in length, and it comes in downloadable MP3s that are emailed to you. It's so simple. Meaning you can download them on your phone, listen in your car, wherever you are. So when you're on the go, you can do these at your own pace. You know, I know some of you are saying, that sounds great, but what's the investment, Deb? Here it is, plain and simple. The retail value is $150, but since you are on this little webinar today and you are taking some time to invest in yourself, you get an attendee discount. So we take off $33. So for you, it's $39 a month for 3 months. $39 a month for 3 months. It's a 3-month audio program. Go at your own pace, and it's money back guarantee. Now, it's your turn. I'm not even asking you to step out on faith. I'm just asking you to try it. I don't want your money. I actually want your results. You know why? Because my guarantee to you is when you join the boot camp today, if you don't learn at least one new thing and feel that none of this has helped you in any way, I'll give you your money back. Hands down, no questions asked. Because I want you to tell your friends. I want you to tell your friends about your results. I want you to have control over your life and your business. And with this offer, you have literally no risk. It's a money back guarantee, guys. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. And even better, as a special bonus, when you sign up today, you're also going to get 7 simple ways to better follow up. That's actually with Brian Hilliard. It comes on MP3s. And again, he is doing the boot camp with me and the best-selling author of Networking Like a Pro. You get that as a bonus. You also will get a one-on-one half-hour mentoring coaching session with yours truly when you complete the boot camp. Now, all you have to do is email me for that. So again, what can get better than that? You have a money-back guarantee, you've got a couple bonuses, and when you get done with the program, you get me for a half hour, and I tell you what, it will be power-packed, and you will be very excited to know that all you'll have to do is email me a couple days in advance. Let me know some things that you want to be able to go over, and we will tackle them on that power call. So all of that, guys. Now, you've got 2 options. Door number 1 is figure it out for yourself. Or door number 2 are how to overcome the overwhelm and put more time back in your day. Boot camp, 39 hours a month, where you can actually go right now to www.debdowdyblog.com/join. Again, www.debdowdyblog.com/join right now. And you will be able to overcome the overwhelm and put more time back in your day. Something I'd like you to consider though, okay? I want to ask you this. If you do not change your direction, you will end up exactly where you're heading. Now, that's an ancient Chinese proverb, but I thought it was great for today. And if that resonates with you, again, I want you to really consider our program. So, for full details, I'd like you to go over right now to www.debdowdyblog.com/join. You can get full details on the program there, and I want to be able to have you get the program, get your bonuses today, and I want to thank you so much for your time. that you took out investing in you today. Everybody, make it a great day because it is a choice. Bye-bye.